Reclaiming focus, how to desexualize your brain and stop lusting. Hey guys, if you've ever found yourself battling with overwhelming lust or feeling like your mind is constantly wandering toward thoughts you'd rather not entertain, this video is for you. By the end of this discussion, you'll not only understand how to desexualize your brain and stop lusting, but you'll also gain tools to reclaim your focus, build discipline, and step into a higher version of yourself. Stay with me till the end because I'm saving the #1 secret, the real game changer, for last. And trust me, you don't want to miss it. Let's dive in. Before we talk solutions, let's dig deeper into why fixing your brain is not just a good idea, but a necessity if you're serious about becoming the man you're meant to be. Lust isn't just a fleeting thought or a harmless indulgence. It's a mental trap, a silent thief that steals your focus, productivity, and potential. It operates under the radar, making you think it's just normal or even harmless to entertain these thoughts. But over time, it builds a pattern, an addiction to the cheap dopamine hits that lust provides. Think about how your brain works. Your brain is wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain. This is part of what keeps us alive and thriving. But in today's world, your brain is constantly being hijacked by artificial pleasure triggers. Social media feeds, streaming platforms, dating apps, even ads. They're all designed to capture your attention and keep you coming back for more. When you give in to lust, you're feeding this system. You're teaching your brain that these cheap dopamine hits are the reward it should chase. Over time, this rewires your neural pathways, making it harder to resist those urges. You become stuck in a loop, constantly seeking more stimulation but feeling emptier every time. I remember a point in my life when this cycle had me trapped. I wasn't even aware of how much it was affecting me. I'd spend hours scrolling through social media, chasing those brief moments of excitement, only to feel drained afterward. My work suffered, my relationships lacked depth, and I couldn't figure out why I felt so unmotivated. It wasn't until I stepped back and really looked at how much mental energy I was wasting on lustful thoughts that I started to connect the dots. Here's another key reason why desexualizing your brain is critical. Lust keeps you reactive. Instead of being in control of your thoughts and actions, you're constantly reacting to external stimuli. This isn't how a high-value man operates. A Titan doesn't let his environment dictate his behavior. He leads himself and his surroundings. Let's also talk about the emotional toll. Lust doesn't just drain your energy, it undermines your confidence. Every time you give into it, there's a part of you that knows you're not living up to your potential. Over time, that can create a cycle of guilt, shame, and self-doubt. You start questioning your discipline, your value, and even your ability to achieve your goals. Now let's look at the flip side. Imagine a version of yourself who has mastered this part of life. A man who doesn't let lust distract him. A man who has clarity, focus, and control. This version of you can walk into any room and command respect because he's not just reacting to the world. He's shaping it. He's living with purpose and discipline, and that kind of energy is magnetic. Here's the truth. Fixing your brain isn't about suppressing who you are as a man. It's about reclaiming your power. Lust is like a leaky faucet. It drains your potential drop by drop. When you take control, you're not just stopping the leak. You're redirecting that energy into something far more powerful. Your mission, your goals, and your growth. This is why fixing your brain is essential. It's not just about avoiding lust. It's about freeing yourself from a cycle that keeps you stuck and stepping into a mindset that allows you to thrive. Lust doesn't start randomly. It's a result of conditioning. Think about it. How many times a day are you exposed to content or ideas that plant seeds of lust in your mind? This could be that Instagram post, a scene in a show, or even casual conversations. Every one of these moments triggers a response in your brain. It's called dopamine, the chemical that makes you feel good. Lust hijacks this system and makes you dependent on those feelings. But here's the thing, you can recondition your brain. That's the first step, awareness. When I started noticing these triggers in my life, it became clear how much of it was coming from external sources. That awareness allowed me to start taking back control. Once you understand where lust comes from, you have to clean up your environment. This means removing anything that feeds the fire. If social media is a trigger, unfollow those accounts. If certain shows or movies are a problem, stop watching them. This step was huge for me. I remember one weekend deciding to delete a ton of apps and unfollow anyone who wasn't adding value to my life. It felt extreme at the time, but the results were undeniable. Within days, I felt clearer, more focused, and less distracted. Here's the key. You can't win this battle if your environment is working against you. Be ruthless. Your future self will thank you. When you remove lust from your life, you create space. But if you don't fill that space with something positive, you'll end up back where you started. That's where habits come in. One of the most powerful habits I implemented was daily physical exercise. Whether it's lifting weights, running, or even just a brisk walk, physical activity burns off excess energy and resets your mind. Another habit is mindfulness meditation. This is about learning to observe your thoughts without judgment and letting them pass. When I started meditating, I noticed how often lustful thoughts would come up, but I also learned that I didn't have to act on them. Meditation taught me how to sit with discomfort and let it go. And finally, journaling. Every night I'd reflect on my day and write down what triggered me, how I responded, and what I could do better. Over time, this practice gave me incredible insight into my own mind. Lust thrives in the absence of purpose. When you don't have a clear mission or goals, your mind has room to wander. But when you're focused on becoming the best version of yourself, there's less space for distractions. For me, this was a turning point. I started setting ambitious goals, financial, physical, and personal. I asked myself, what kind of man do I want to be? What legacy do I want to leave behind? These questions ignited a fire in me. Every time a lustful thought tried to creep in, I'd redirect that energy toward my goals. When you have a purpose, you naturally start living with discipline, and discipline is the antidote to lust. You can't do this alone. Surround yourself with men who hold you accountable and share your commitment to growth. For me, this came in the form of mentors and friends who were also on a path of self-improvement. When you're part of a community, you're less likely to fall back into old habits. Share your struggles, celebrate your wins, and keep each other focused. Now for the part you've been waiting for, the #1 secret to desexualizing your brain, transmutation. This is the practice of taking your sexual energy and channeling it into something productive. This concept changed my life. Instead of letting lust control me, I started using that energy to fuel my work, my workouts, and my relationships. Sexual energy is one of the most powerful forces you have as a man. When you learn to redirect it, you unlock a level of focus and drive that most people will never experience. Transmutation isn't easy, but it's a skill you can develop. Start small. The next time you feel a wave of lust, pause and ask yourself, how can I use this energy right now? Over time, this practice will become second nature. If you've made it this far, you're already ahead of most guys. But knowledge isn't enough. You have to take action. In the description below, you'll find links to tools from the Titan Toolbox, including courses and ebooks designed to help you master your mind, build discipline, and step into your full potential. These resources are there to guide you on your journey to becoming a true Titan. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. This is just the beginning of what we'll achieve together. Let's take back control and build the life we're meant to live. I'll see you in the next video.